no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talk about that six-figure wife tonight. Talking six-figure wife tonight. We talking six-figure wife tonight. Six-figure wife tonight. What you know? Six-figure wife tonight. We talking six-figure wife tonight. We talking six-figure wife tonight. We talking six-figure wife tonight. What you know about six-figure wife tonight? Yo, got a six-figure wife tonight. Yeah, your girl is your world. Six figures tonight. Six-figure wife tonight. Yo, not rich, six-figure wife. That's right. Six-figure wife tonight. What you know about the six-figure wife tonight? Yo, how y'all feeling tonight? Power Monday all up in your area. And I know Monday has come and gone on the East Coast, and we already are into Tuesday. But this is the Monday show, the Power Monday show of the Daily Go-Getterism show. So let's rock. So tonight on the Daily Go-Getterism show, we are talking about the six-figure wife. Let me get some things straight over here. We should be good. I did my due diligence tonight and made sure that I took care of what I was supposed to take care of. I took care of what I was supposed to take care of. You understand what I'm saying? So this is how we're going to start it out. We're talking about the six-figure wife tonight. I got this beat in my head. I got this beat in my head. I got this beat in my head. I got this beat. I got this beat. I got this beat in my head. I got this beat in my head. I got this. This how it go. Da 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 da. We could do it like this. La 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 la. La 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 la. Switch it up. And that's how we doing it. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this the daily. It's the daily go-get-ism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, thinking all fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. Tonight we talk about the six-figure wife. Everything is gonna be all right. Tonight we talk about the six-figure wife. Everything is gonna be all good. Yo, six-figure wife, let's get it understood. So let's get it popping. All right, are y'all ready? I'm ready. Put away my hardware. Put away my hardware. This is how we do it 2 in the morning. If you ain't making no noise 2 in the morning, I don't know what you're doing. Like, what else you gonna do at 2 in the morning besides make new music, get your drums out? Like, I don't know. We're like, I guess you get like sleep or something like that, but who does that? Who does that? What's good? My bad, yo. Hold on. I ain't got on my well, let me put on my Power Monday uniform. That was Urban Therapy with Sun gear right there. Get my okay, we good? Get my gear right. I ain't rocking my gear right. So, okay, here we go. There is a method to putting these shits on, in case you didn't know. There is definitely a method to putting these shits on. What's good, y'all? How you feeling? I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should tonight, because I'm feeling like a real man should. It's all good. Back this up a little bit. Back to the beat. What's good? T. Carey, right, morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Christian Aiden? La Bala. Okay. Huh. Total Spanish, huh? That's cool. And Buana, my man, Buana Haguski, what's good, my dude? Says no man, or at least no man I know cares about his wife's salary, because he'll probably end up controlling that money anyway. I'm glad you said that. I am. I'm glad you said that. That's a good look. Shirley Shore, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Shore, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. What's good? How you feeling? Maritza Allberg, appreciate you all the time. All the time, not some of the time. All the time, not some of the time. Right now, we do the beats. Right now, we do the rhymes. It's good to see you. It's good to see you for sure. All right. So tonight, we are talking about the six-figure wife. Now, it's no secret that some men have a problem with women who make their own money. Because a lot of times when women make their own money, especially if they're making a really decent salary, like a six-figure salary, where, you know, you're pretty much going to have that's a decent salary. There's no way around it. Even if you're at the low end of the six figures, you're not rich. You're not even close to that, but you are in a good space. You are in the good space of middle class. When you get to the six figure, I don't care if it's you just there, 100 grand per year. It's a good salary. You know, that's the kind of salary where, especially if you don't have a bunch of kids, you know, you can eat out on a regular basis, take vacations on a regular basis, be able to pay your mortgage, be able to pay a car note, and live comfortably. You know, comfortable. I mean, you know, decent house. We ain't talking about in-ground pool type. We're not there yet. We're not there. You know, I mean, but it all depends on how you work your money. Because at 100 grand, you know, you're talking about the low end of the spectrum in the housing market now. So many houses are 200, 300, 400 grand, $500,000. And you don't get as much house as you used to be able to get with that type of money. Before, if you spend $500,000 on a house, you was sitting in something palatial. You was sitting in something very, very mansionish. Yeah, that's going to be a word tonight. Mansionish. You was sitting in something mansionish back in the day. But you know, if your woman makes six figures and the man doesn't make six figures, it can really work on his self-esteem. Now, you know, on one end, you might say, well, he just needs to step his game up. If he don't want his wife to make more money than him because he has insecurities about that, or he has control issues and he believes that whoever makes the most money has the most control, well, then he needs to get his hustle on. Maybe he needs a 9 to 5 and maybe a 6 to 10. You need a 9 to 5 and a 6 to 10. And don't come back home until when? So, you know, he may have to do that. Or some men just don't want their women to be financially self-sufficient. And that goes back into the whole control issue thing. It really does. I mean, you know, niggas can say whatever they want, but it goes into the whole control issue thing. Because men have controlled women so long with the money. I mean, look at this whole Diddy and Cassie situation. I mean, look, regardless of how you feel about it, if you look at the Diddy and the Cassie situation, he was the money maker. He was the rainmaker. Not too many people that she would have dated had more money than Puffy. So Puffy has always used his capital to be able to get his way, and it has worked up until now. And who's to say it won't work now? I mean, I don't know if he's going to get convicted of his alleged crimes. But I know that he's used to paying his way into things and paying his way out of things. And that's what we're dealing with. Chris Newton, what's good? He says, is Diddy getting off? I don't know. I mean, who can tell? It's still early in the trial, whatever. You know, we hearing about all this freaky shit that he's done or whatever. None of that really has anything to do with his charges. But I'm just using that as an example to say how some men feel like they need to make more money than their woman because that they feel like that is their leverage. That is the way that they can keep their woman in line. If she don't have no money, then she needs him. And unfortunately, it has been that type of thinking and that type of way that has bred these I don't need no man type of women. And the I don't need no man type of women normally are women who make six figures and above. Because at anything under six figures, yeah, financially, you may need a little help. Now, let's say you make $95,000 a year. It's a good salary. Some people nowadays might say that's not a good salary. So I've heard people say anything under six figures is pennies. Pennies, you can't live off of that. How are you going to make it on $70,000 a year? You can't do that. Hey, I've heard it said. It all depends on how you work it and what your expectations are and what your means are. You know how they say, you know, don't live above your means. Your means is your income. So don't live above your income, even though I don't know how you can possibly live above your income because your income is the only means that you have. But it is what it is. Cheryl Halsey, what's good? Good to see you, Ma. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Buana says, women want to be led, son. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, I don't disagree with you, my dog, but all women ain't the same. And even though I believe that on some level, most women do want to be led, they also want to be led by somebody who is qualified to lead. Now, the trick is that they decide what the qualifications are, not the man. Men think that they set the qualifications, but they don't. And that's why a lot of men try to strong arm their way into power. They try to strong arm their way into power, not necessarily on some violent shit, but they are using guerrilla bully tactics. And sometimes it works, but it won't work. It won't work long. Anything that you have to do physically can only happen when you are around. Think about it. Anything that you have to do physically can only happen when you are present, because the physical can only exist when you are in the physical. So if you away on vacation, if you taking care of business over on the West Coast and your woman is on the East Coast, you don't have no control. So it might be better to learn how to use your mind like a pimp, but you don't have to take up pimp tactics. You don't have to put your woman out there. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is a lot of women these days hang their hat on their finances. They really do. A lot of six-figure salary making women hang their hats on their finances because it ain't hard to find a nigga who don't make six figures. It's easy. There's a world full of them. Even dope boys ain't clearing six figures. And if you don't believe it, I could introduce you to at least 5. I know they ain't nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Drug dealing for a lot of cats these days is a regular 9 to 5. Shit. Hand-to-hand drug sales? Shit. With a boss over you, you be lucky to be making $40 an hour. Real shit. Real shit. And $40 an hour, well, you know, they often work damn near 24 hours a day. But there's nothing to say they're gonna be able to keep that $40 an hour. But anyway. That's what we're working with out here. Juana says most Americans don't make six figures. That's like 5% of the population. I don't know if it's 5% of the population. I don't know if it's 5% of the population. I would bet that it's a little bit more than that. But you're right. A lot of people do not make six figures. So when you're talking about having a woman who makes six figures or having a wife who makes six figures, there may be times when you're talking about having to make some concessions and some, you know, I mean, you got to learn how to, you know, keep shit in line for the decency and the goodness and the betterment of your situation. My man Troy Diesel is here, and Josh the dog, 567. What Josh talking about? So Sun 752. I got the one hand jam going on, playing with one hand, thinking about. Well, won't be reading any of his comments now, will I? No. It's all good. It's all good. You get no comments read. I ain't gonna kick you out. But no. Senka Sala, my peoples. Says my girl makes a good amount and she still acts like a stay-at-home wife. I.e., she cooks, cleans, does laundry. I handle the man work, etc. We both have separate bank accounts and one for mutual. Oh, and one for mutual for bills. That's cool. Well, that's the way a marriage is supposed to work. And a marriage built on a good foundation shouldn't have a problem working that way. And really, in a decent marriage, and a marriage where people love and respect each other, money should never be an issue. Because that means that both parties are fiscally responsible and one is not using the other as a defense mechanism. One is not using the money as a defense mechanism against the other. Weaponizing your finances. Who knows about weaponizing your finances? I've seen men weaponize their finances against women, and I've seen women weaponize their finances against men. Now, for those of y'all who don't understand what weaponizing finances against somebody means, it means when you use your money in order to help or hurt people. It means that's your biggest bargaining chip. Now, it kind of makes sense because how can you buy something without money? Now, we know that you can get things without money, but how can you buy things without money? The thing is that people who weaponize their finances against people, particularly their spouse or their significant others use their money as leverage to get people, to get their wives, to get their spouses to either do something that they want or prevent them from doing something else. Like, I may use my money to get my wife to go down on me. You ain't going shopping if I... No, I'm just kidding. That's some weak ass shit. If she ain't gonna do that for free, I don't need that. But some men out there might have to do that. You got a whole wife, marriage certificate and everything, and you still paying for sex? Well, shit, it happens. It happens. And the other way, they may use money as a weapon against their spouses or their significant others. Well, if you don't have no money, so you don't have no money, you don't have no place to stay, you don't have no car, you don't have anything. So if you leave me, you ain't gonna have nothing. Now, how long will a person have nothing? Because you only need one thing to have something. But you can get into a situation where you get so comfortable in someone else's finances that you can be afraid to leave, like a Cassie. So she says, oh, I'm sorry. She just wanted to please Diddy. My bad. She didn't stay because of the money. She stayed because she just loved herself some Diddy. Love herself some Diddy. Love herself. Love herself some. Cam's Wims, what's up, ma? What's good? Happy Power Monday to you and everybody. What up? What we doing? And Dimples D's is in the house. How you creep? You be creeping through the... I'm like, hold on. I ain't see... You wasn't there before. Dimples manages to not let her comment be at the bottom ever. That should be right in the middle. Be like, how did you get in the middle without ever being on the bottom first? She like... It's all good. It's all good, Shirley Cheryl. The world's most precious and greatest pearl says some women want the old and golden life where the man takes care of the finances and she takes care of the house. However, the heart wants what the heart wants. If he does have it and he's decent, we work it. I ain't got no problem with that. I mean, it sounds good. Listen, one thing I don't have is a window into anybody else's household, especially their financial situation. But y'all know individually what y'all working with. And anybody who is listening to this show knows whether they have ever weaponized their money or have had money weaponized against them. Now, a lot of men feel like women who make their own money, women who are go-getters, women who will go out, bust their ass, sell something. And I ain't talking about selling no ass. They will go out. They will sell some Amway. They will sell some Tupperware. They will sell some wicker. They will sell some what were those all that artwork that was real popular at the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s? What was that shit called? Yeah, my aunt was selling it. We're having parties and shit so she could get the free paintings. You know what I mean? But selling that. Avon. Mary Kay. Hustle. Those women who are always selling something always have money. They have multiple streams of income. So they are prepared for the fall. They not only can shop when they want to, make sure their kids' Christmases, birthdays, school, back to school, and all of that shit is taken care of, but they are able to hold their families in good standing financially. That doesn't mean that they don't need love. It doesn't mean that they don't need affection, but it can be very intimidating for a man to see his woman or a woman that he desires going out there busting her ass more than he does. Yeah, she'll fuck him all night, but not until she get home from work. Soon as she get home. I'll count my cash with you. You know, I'll let you do what you want to do. Kelly 48 Bumblebee. Just a heads up, you're going to be an... Oh, my fucking goodness. This motherfucker changed his name. Wait a minute. He changed... The shit that motherfuckers will do for attention. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. What the hell? That's why Shirley Show Tupperware. Seika Sala says some business advice you should look into is JEPI. JPay? Wait. You dividend monthly instead of buying the latest clothes or purse wasting money. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. It really does. But you think about it. Like I said, the six-figure wife. Can you, as a man, can you deal with your woman making 150, 175,000 when you're making 50, when you're making 60? Can you deal with it? Now, for some people, that sounds like a really good look. That sounds like a really good look because that's going to allow, you know, I mean, for an opportunistic dude, he like, mama want to buy a new car, we buy a new car. She paying for it. That's fun. Mama want a new house, we moving to a bigger house. Out in the burbs, I'm moving to the main line, baby. Moving to the main line, baby. You know what I mean? Huh? Moving to Lower Marion, where Kobe parents used to stay. Rest in peace to him and his pops. Seika Sala says, I would, but it all depends on the woman. Bill, hold on. Bill Desmet says, stop spamming or get blocked. I appreciate. You know what? Let me get the boy out of here. Let me get him out of here. You know, let me get him. Hold on. Let me make sure that's him. Get him. You know what I'm saying? You right. I haven't fucked up. Haven't fucked up in the chat. Get him gone. Let me get him gone. Get him another one too. Since he got multiple channels. He got multiple channels, son. He got multiple channels, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, son? He got multiple channels. Let me get him out of here. Let me get him out of here. Get multiple channels and shit. Kim's Wim says it takes a level of maturity either way, and that's true. Okay. That's true. But the thing is, yeah, it definitely takes a level of maturity, but it also may take a level of understanding. You know, it may take a level of understanding. And when you are only hell-bent, see, insecurity works in more ways than just not liking yourself or not thinking that you're pretty enough or good enough. Insecurity is about fear. Fear that you're not good enough. Fear that somebody is going to leave you. Fear that somebody is going to take the first opportunity to get away from you and go with somebody else because you just don't stack up. And sometimes if your insecurity is really, really bad and you compound your insecurity. So you just making it worse and worse and worse. So you spend most of your time thinking that your job is about to fire you. Your friends are about to diss you and your woman is about to leave you or your man. But in this case, we talking about the six-figure wife. We talking about the six-figure wife. We talking about the six-figure woman. Now, any woman, or anybody, but definitely any woman that makes six figures should be proud of herself. And it ain't that hard for you to make a six-figure salary with just one degree. Ask all those registered nurses. Boom, six-figure salary, no master's degree. and don't have to go get one. But you know, with the ones who actually go back and get their master's degree of clearing, they living they living good. They doing good. They doing good. But a registered nurse, like every time you go to the emergency room or you in a hospital, the ones that's wearing blue, not the ones that are wearing maroon or any of those other colors, because those are nurse aides. And shit, even I know some nurse aides, they work so much OT. And you know, those shifts are 12-hour shifts. So they work so much OT, they might be clearing six figures. They got themselves. Now their normal salary is, you know, somewhere around 40,000. They can make like anywhere from like, you know, the high 30s up to about 50, maybe 60 grand. The LPN licensed practical nurses, those are the ones who work in the nursing homes. You don't really catch a lot of RNs working in the nursing home, because nursing homes are literally dirty work. No disrespect, but they are. Anybody who has ever been in a nursing home or had a loved one in the nursing home knows those nursing homes. Oh Lord, oh Lord. But those are LPNs, and their average salary is somewhere around 60 grand. So they can clear like around 60 to 80, no OT, 60 to 80. You know what I mean? But that's not a six-figure salary. However, they can easily get there. More OT, baby, more OT. So let's say you the nurse supervisor at the nursing home, and you the supervisor still is paid hourly. So she can easily get the six figures, couple of days a week OT. That's 24 hours. 24 hours. So they can get there. Now, if you are the type of person that uses your money, weaponizes your money in order to control your mate, or degrade your mate, or emasculate your mate, well, you got no boat, but I'm sorry. You got no rhymes, but you want to battles like having a boat, but you got no pedal. Cause I never pause. I say it because we don't break in stores, but we break our laws. Writ while sitting not. Okay, anyway. All right. Sikasala says some women value a real man. Some can't conceive the thought that she makes more and will look down on him. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Appreciate that shit. Hit the like button right now. Hit the like button right now. All right. Sikasala says I had a Jewish friend in college, and I used to go to his house and vice versa. I remember his father told me, Seika, you need to be selfish and take it, not wait for it. Made me more assertive. That was your Jew experience. I'm gonna tell you my Jew experience. Seika Sala says, I then understood how Jews always get to the bag no matter what. Well, not all Jews get to the bag. They got entitled Jews who just ride the wave. And I know, see, my dad was married to a Jew, a white woman, and she was a Jew. So I've seen what go-getting, money-making Jews look like. And I've seen what the entitled, well, as long as my people's got it, I got it. I've seen the atheist Jews who don't even practice, but they got the Jew card. And yes, there is a Jew card. They have an actual, when my baby sister turned 13, she had a bat mitzvah. And me and my big sister went to the bat mitzvah. And at the end of the ceremony, they presented her with her Jew card. And we was like, yo, this is a real thing? Because I've seen people try to deny, no, there's no such thing as no Jew card. That's the myth. No, the fuck is not. I seen it with my own. I held it in my, I was like, let me see that thing. And the rabbi said, may it give you many opportunities. So wherever you go in the world, You know there are Jews all over the world, especially in Europe. So you travel in Europe or whatever, you find yourself in the jam, you be like, boop, that's your black card. You're going to at least get a place to stay. You're going to get put up. You're going to get meals. You're going to get put on your feet, and you're going to at least get sent back home. That's the way that works. That's the way their networking works. But I have a different business Jew experience. I used to work at a clothing store in Philly named City Blue, and it was the popular black clothing store, but it was ran by Israeli Jews. Now, I worked in the warehouse, so they used to make me count every, like, let's say you have 40 boxes of Calvin Kleins. They used to take the invoice off of the boxes and tell me to count, give them an accurate count of how many pieces it was. Now, he knows how many is supposed to be in there, but he wasn't going by that. So they were teaching me a lesson. So I'm like, why am I counting every pair of these jeans? Why can't I just put them on the shelf? You know how many pieces there are. They was like, Omar, I need you to count the pieces. So I count them, taking all of these boxes out. 40 boxes of Calvin Klein jeans. This was only the beginning. This is my first week. So I counted them, got the count wrong the first time. They was like, count them again. So I said, damn, this shit is really real. Counted them again, gave them the right count. They were like, okay, now put them on the shelf. And that day I went home, I was like, this is before I knew that he took the invoice off. I didn't find that out until maybe a couple of weeks later when I saw him take the joint off. So he would, when the truck would pull up, he would go and take the invoice off first. And I was none the wiser until I saw him do it. And that's how I knew he always knew how many was supposed to be in there. So a few times I gave him the count and it was the actual count and it didn't match with the invoice. Now, after that, they told me, they said, that's why it's important for you to count. When you're buying in bulk, sometimes vendors will take the liberty of cheating you or shorting you a few pieces. Now, for us, that's about $40 or $50 for a pair of Calvin Kleins. So it may not be a lot of money in the grand scheme of 40 boxes worth, but you get every cent that you paid for. You don't let anybody short you. So if nothing else, they showed me to get everything that you pay for. You know, people be saying dumb shit like you buy something and people that don't really have no money be like, keep the change. You don't keep no fucking change. Give me my money. No, you don't keep no change. Because once you get people in the habit of keeping your change, then the change that you leave grows bigger and bigger. And you ain't even got it like that. They taught me against all of that. I have plenty of stories. I have a way iller story than that. But anyway, yeah. If anything, I think that's the reason why they be getting caked up, because they make sure that they get every last piece that they're supposed to get. They ain't taking no shorts. Shit, them motherfuckers used to have me hiding. They hated the Koreans. They hated the Koreans. So the Koreans would bring in, let's say, 35 boxes of troop suits. I don't know if you remember the brand Troop, but they had these leather suits. LL wore a couple of them in his video. And they had Adidas suits and all of that. The Koreans manufactured all that shit, even all the way back in 1987, 88. So they would have, when they was bringing, the Koreans didn't trust the Jews and the Jews didn't trust the Koreans. They would have me hide a box of the troop suits before the Koreans could see what happened. But so they could put it in the Koreans' mind that they were always trying to cheat them. So they had a reason to audit them. Meanwhile, the Koreans had actually sent them the right amount. But you see how they used my nigger ass? Do you see how they used me? But I learned a lot from them. All right. Okay. Okay. Kim says, not to mention, she does the same to her loved ones, with exception to her children. Okay, all right. Val Daniel says, that's right. Buana says, give me my change, better believe it. Yeah. Shit. Like you Big Willie or something. I'm talking about some keep the change. Next thing you know, you that same broke motherfucker needing that change later on. Wishing you didn't. Wishing you didn't give away so much of your change. One thing, man, when people fall on hard times, they remember every last person that owed them money or that didn't represent for them. It'd be like, yo, we went to Burger King and you got the triple Whopper with cheese and I paid for that. I'm hungry now. You hear this? You remember everybody who didn't represent for you when you fall on hard times. Shit is real. Shit is real, son. Kim Swim says, go back and read that over, son. Okay, let me go back and read it. Not to mention, she does the same to her loved ones, with exception to her children. I read that wrong the first time? Oh, I missed this one. That's the problem. Why are your friends in your wallet, pocketbook, or bedroom? Oh, yeah. I can see how that could be a problem. Okay. Seika Salah says, a Jewish friend told me once, the one thing Jews and blacks have in common is that we both don't like to tip. Don't listen to Jews tell you that shit. All right. Toyama is best. Toyama is best. My wife be taking care of the baby, and doing mad housework. Should I praise her or ask for more? I don't know. I mean, what's your satisfaction level? What's your sad? I mean, if you happy with what she doing, why rock the boat? I would think that you would only ask for more if you needed more. But we're talking about the six figure wife. A lot of men can't deal with it. Even some men who make six figures, they don't want their wife making six figures. Listen, especially if you are a man that's used to tricking. The tricking man needs a woman that is financially below him. How you going to trick with a woman that's above you? You need somebody that's needy. And to me, all women are needy in some ways. Shit, men too. Ain't nothing wrong with having needs. Who don't need nothing? I need some things right now. And some of those things are things that a woman could provide. But when you don't understand that everybody needs something and everybody needs somebody, the lines can get crossed.
You have a call from.
All right, hold on just a second. Okay, Toyama says, I'm just wondering how much should a woman, wait a minute, do in 2025? Like I said, man, that's your woman. You determine that. Y'all determine that, not the rest of the world. Juana says, I tip all the time. I just don't say, keep the change. I need my change. Yeah, I'm the same way. I tip well. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I don't like doing it, but I do. I tip well. Like if the bill is like 100, I tip 20. And then shit. That's above what they asking for. Shit, 20. That's 20%. Toyama says it's true. How you going to trick a woman above you, homie? I mean, how you going to do it? Now, I'm not a trick. No pay to play over here. But I know the mentality of the trick. And the thing about a man who tricks a lot, he needs a woman who's below him financially. Because he knows that's how he gets what he wants. Pay, pay, pay. Oh, that's my only problem. My only problem with dudes who trick all the time is that they don't believe in no free pussy. So a woman just can't give him no ass because she like him or love him or because his dick is worth something. He don't believe his dick is worth nothing. If he believes any man who believes that his dick is worth something ain't paying all the time. If anything, he should be collecting a little bit if he handling like that, man. But the trick never believes that. Caller with the last number is 5639. Welcome to the Daily Go Getism Show. Thank you for calling in and thank you for holding. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, 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 hey. You sound like Dwayne from What's Happening. What's good?
I was calling because I don't know how you're missing that whole message I put in there. You keep reading only half of it, and I'm like, how is he not seeing that?
I might only have half of it. Which one are you talking about?
Really? So what I said was, shoot, I gotta find it myself. Oh, I said, I know of a woman who calls herself Alpha because of the money she makes. She's an asshole and stupid. She also makes it her mission to belittle her husband because his money doesn't match. And then I said, not to mention, she does the same to her loved ones, with exception to her children.
Okay. I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
What I did, I said, I know women who don't make, still pull the power card. Also men who do the same with empty pockets. I also know couples who share the load one way or the other. That's what makes sense to me. Okay, I see that. Okay. All right. Nonetheless, we're here. We good.
Yeah.
We good. Yeah. Now, from what I know, if a woman respects a man, if she loves the man and respects the man, it won't really matter how much money he makes as long as he's contributing in some kind of way and going for his. You know, I take particular issue when people say, especially black men, talk about black women expect you to already be paid before they'll respect you or before they'll be with you. And I'm like, where the fuck you get that from? Then why so many of us broke? Why are we filling? Why do we be filling up big tall project buildings if we all got to get it? You mean to tell me that all of the projects, none of the women, how are all of the babies being born filling up the projects and other poverty stricken areas if the women are requiring all this money up front? You know what I mean? It really don't make sense. You know what I mean? But nobody holds the black man down like a black woman. And just in case anybody misunderstands what holding it down means, I don't mean putting him down. I don't mean keeping him back. I mean holding down the fort. In other words, taking care of things, making sure that things are good for him. But that's my experience, and it's the experience that I've seen with others. With a whole lot of other people, I've seen how women can make a little, they can take their money and weaponize it more and feel entitled to do it. Like, they might not require their man to make as much money as they do, but they will definitely take any opportunity to insult him, put him down, or make him or emasculate him because he don't have this, that, and the third. Now, I've seen women put up with a dude who's lazy, shiftless, a cheater and all of that shit until he gets out of line and starts talking too much and acting like he all this, that, and the third. Next thing you know, she got the bow and arrow in his ass and she got hella aim. Boop. That's why you ain't got this. Boop. That's why you grew up like that. Boop. That's why you still owe child support. Boop. That's why your mama ain't had shit. Boop. That's why your dad wasn't with your mom. Boop. That's why your mom kicked your dad out. Boop. That's why none of y'all got the same dad. Boop. Yeah. Yeah. And she putting you out with your little PS5, PS4 that she bought. Trash bag full of trash bag full of game consoles. You got the old Xbox 360 in that motherfucker. But anyway. Yeah, the six-figure wife. Now, if you marry somebody that you can't even get comfortable with because they make more money than you, I don't know what to tell you. So you rather reduce your financial status of your household because you can't be happy with your woman making more money than you? Well, damn. Well, nigga, damn. But there are some women who, shoot. I don't know. I think everything has its limits and its bounds. So even if you don't make as much money as your woman, I think you should still go out there and improve your worth. You know what I mean? Contribute as much as you can contribute to, because at the end of the day, it is the household. And if y'all have children and all of that, everybody is going to fare better the harder the parents are working. But you still have to make sure that you make time for your kids, make time for love, make time for family activities. You know what I mean? You still got to be a man about it. What do you think about that? Caller with the last numbers 5639. Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's something that's always existed, or is it this new past decade or so we've been introduced to, probably 2 decades we've been introduced to, where this is such a big issue where people are so insecure because I think anyone who demeans another person they're with based on finances, they have some insecurities within themselves. That's my personal opinion.
Well,
we've gone from, and because it takes, realistically, especially right now, it almost takes 2 incomes for a household to sustain, especially if you're a family, you have children, yada, yada, yada. But it's such an emphasis on this type of man, this type of woman, even like Kevin Samuels, a high-valued man, a high-valued woman. And I can't think of the lady's name, but she's high-vibrational people, high-vibrational man, high-vibrational woman. All of these labels that are put on relationships in this world where people are in competition to keep up with the Joneses and everyone else. And, well, look at what they're doing. We need to be able to do that. All of these different things. Is this something that's always existed, or is this something that's so new to us now? We see this in immature people become obsessed with it and think it is a competition because they think it means something when it means nothing.
Well, I'll tell you this. Nothing shows insecurity more than allowing social media to run your household. I didn't have a problem with Kevin Samuels, but I couldn't follow him because of that high value man shit. And you know what? I'm going to just keep it $1 with you. I understood why he was doing what he was doing, but I also understood the showmanship in what he was doing. You understand what I mean? I don't believe for a second that he believed everything that he was kicking, because the evidence, there's too much evidence in the real world to the contrary. just like those women were saying what they wanted, what their preference was, and how they felt like they deserved. How can you tell somebody that they don't deserve the type of person that they want because they have children or because they are a certain age or because they are a certain weight? I really had a problem with that. Like, come on, dude. No wonder these bitches hate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, ugh. I don't know. To me, it was cringe. But I saw these dudes. They was like, yes, Kevin Samuels was their hero. He still is. He was like their god. But for me, he was the god of the sucker nigga. He was the god of sucker for all the men who couldn't get the woman that they wanted, whether it was in high school, college, at the job, around the way, in the strip club. For all of them, he was the one speaking for them. He was their revenge. He was their redemption. But at the end of the day, a man will choose. Men don't choose women by how much money they make. They just don't. That's not how the majority of men choose women. Now, on his show, it was making it seem like that. Well, no, you don't deserve a high value man. And no man with a bunch of money is going to want you. Why not? Why not? Is she cute? She got a little body. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The gushy. So cut it out. Shit.
So a guy now who makes a lot of money, and my friend and he are real close, and forever she always felt like no matter what, at the end of the day, because I make the kind of money that matches his, at the end of the day, he'll always choose me. But in reality, he seems to always choose a woman who makes so much less than him. He always tends to favor someone who my friend considers a gutter rat, Section 8 kid, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's who he ends up with. That's who he spends his time with. That's who he spends his money on, And even though the two of them are cool, they hang out, they go places and do stuff together, he ends up in a relationship with the other chicks, the other types of chicks. So I just, when Kevin Samuels and other guys in the bro club say these things, I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Like I said, the evidence, the evidence is to the contrary.
Guy like that now, who Kevin Samuels is still his guy, but he uses the Bible to hide his insecurities. He uses the Bible to belittle other women, to talk bad about any woman who's not dressed a specific way, any woman who's not like Mary, any woman who is not mimicking somebody in the Bible in his version of life, which is very warped. Any woman who is not godlike, and I quote that, then she's not worthy of a good man and she'll never have a good man.
Hey, I mean, listen, if he's the one waving the magic wand or pushing the buttons, that's the way it'll be. But in reality,
drive a school bus.
Like I said, if he's the one, in other words, if he was God, if he could control that, then that's the way he would control it. In reality, that's out of his control. I've known men who said that they wanted a high value woman and all that kind of shit, but they still played in the dirt. So let's say, all right, so the woman that's your main John or your wife or whatever, she might be a certain status, but you still went out and had a baby by this other John in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
Happens all the time. Because at the end of the day, a man wants a woman that will listen to him, that will inspire him, that will understand his perspective of the world, respect his perspective of the world, that will fuel his dreams, that will believe in him. Those are the kind of women that keep a man. Even if they don't catch the man, they'll always keep him interested. because a lot of times that's not what men are getting when they go home. That's not. A lot of men ain't hearing nothing excuse me, they ain't hearing nothing but a bunch of complaints when they get to the crib. What he ain't doing. It's always something. Complain. I saw this post on social media the other day. This dude said, let your woman come home and vent for 30 minutes every single day if you wanna make sure that you get some every night. And if you don't let her complain, let her vent every day, then don't complain about not getting none. And I said, what? And you
actually woman coming out venting every day. That's not realistic.
In his world, it was, and it was plenty of dudes on there co-signing that bullshit. And I was like, what? If she got a vent every day, then you're not solving her problems or helping. She need a therapist. She needs some fucking reading materials. She need yoga. She need a shaman. She need meditation. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Every day? Every day? He said just sit back and listen to her. Don't interrupt her. Just let her get her shit off. Like, and so after I was like, now a lot of men will think, a lot of women think that, a lot of men think that what one woman that they are dealing with is representative of all everybody else's relationships and all other women. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But like I said, people are letting social media come in and creep into their personal relationship. And now an entity that has no personal involvement is actually navigating your thought process. And you wondering why shit ain't going right. Because you're not, that's worse than getting high, really, because you're not living in the reality of yourself. So anyway, like I said, with the whole Kevin Samuels thing, I was like, all right, yeah, I get it. He's putting on a show. The whole suit, I was like, y'all don't see what's going on? Huh?
But these dudes didn't even go back and check this man out before they start taking advice from him. First of all, he was single himself, and he was rumors say he was an absent father, but not convicted. Before he made it there, he tried many things until he found one that was fit.
Oh, listen,
honestly, he seemed like a sissy at one point, so I'm just saying.
I ain't mad at him for finding his niche, but you see the way he died. You know what I mean? Laid up with the white chick and all this shit. I mean, it is what it is.
Right. I'm sure she wasn't a high value woman because of the situation.
But they did say she didn't look like a high value. What the fuck is a high? So I don't know. I can't live my life basing everything on finances. I just can't. I cannot value everything about a person on finances. I've known people who had money and were straight assholes. I've known people who didn't have money that were straight assholes. What you gonna say? See, if you wasn't such an asshole, you would have money. I'm like, but the rich one is an asshole too. Well, yeah, if he because that's how he made money, by being an asshole. I'm like, well, which one is it? What we doing? But in your own household, when you dealing man to woman, trying to get it popping, and the financial part of it is in the way because your woman makes more money than you. We got something we got to talk about. We got something we got to deal with. It's not an easy situation to deal with for a lot of men. And that's whether you married to them or just going with them. Now, I'm not going front. I have known women who have weaponized their finances against some dudes. I've seen it. There was a strong I don't need no man movement going on. Just a little while ago. I don't hear women talking like that as much because it got demonized a lot. People don't like to get criticized. But I'm sure.
It's a stupid thing to say. It doesn't make any logical sense.
Well, and from a financial standpoint, it did make sense. That was that way.
More for that.
Huh?
Like if that's all the relationship is based on, then you don't even have nothing.
Well, their whole thing was evidently they had their feelings hurt because men were feeling like that they could control them and whatever, by their money. So they figured, well, if I don't need a man to take care of me, to raise my family, to pay my bills and all of that, then I'm free. But they didn't really realize that they weren't really free, because the one thing that they really needed to breathe life into them, which was love and affection, they were incapable of achieving that or obtaining that, because their whole life system was based on finances. And that shit really just, besides paying the bills, it don't do too much more. But, you find that out the hard way.
I still think some of that too comes from your circle, your parenting, your relatives. I still think some of that is ingrained. I've heard women tell their daughters some of the worst information, and I'm always like, that is stupid. Why are you saying that? That's dumb. And nothing against your mother. Like, I'm her now. And I always have to say to her, I don't mean no disrespect to your mother, but that's not accurate in the real world. And if you continue listening like that, you're going to always have problems. You're not going to have a happy nothing. So I think some of that too comes from the information that's passed down from generation to generation. And I think it's the circle too, because if a woman is around a bunch of miserable ass other women, she's going to be miserable. She's going to act accordingly.
Yeah. If somebody believes in you and they really want to be with you, they'll do what the fuck you tell them to do. Money or no money. Now, grooming, conditioning, rearing, it has a lot to do with your perspective of how things are supposed to be. I mean, I've noticed that a lot of people who grew up in two-parent family, they think that a two-parent family is the only way that it should ever be. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I mean, why wouldn't you want your children to have the two parents in the household, just like you did, because you look at that as the nuclear household, and that's the right way. I don't disagree with that. I totally agree. However, circumstances can warrant that it be a single parent household. It's not always a divorce situation or a breakup situation. Like, one of the parents can tragically pass away. Boom, single parent household. Ain't nothing nobody can do about it. You know what I mean? So should it stay that way? Should your mom mourn your father's death, or your dad mourn your mother's death for the rest of his life? I don't think so. So,
but it happens.
It happens with some.
My grandmother did. It happens.
It happens with some. But I mean, but if it happens, if your spouse passes away while you're still in childbearing years, you never gonna have nobody for the rest of your life? Shit. Jesus giving up something. But anyway, what do you say about the man who provides for his daughter or tries to set her up financially so she don't need no man? Because I've heard a lot of men say it. I'm gonna make sure that my baby don't need no man. I'm gonna buy jewelry so she don't need no man. Get her a car so she don't need no man. Set her up in the crib so she don't need no man. Give her some money so she don't need no man. Set up in business so she don't need no man. So you got a man who doesn't see the value of men outside of the finances. What do you say about them?
Mm-hmm. I mean, in real time, there is a pro and a con to that, and it depends on how it's exchanged. So when I say it depends on the community around you, how you act. So of course, in the beginning, I didn't have my dad. And so I have my uncle, my grandfather, my uncles, my grandfather, and my god uncle. And they felt like they were doing a great thing by showering me with everything. And I remember my uncle saying, you don't, especially because puberty was, on its way, you don't go in here, you don't let none of these little niggas make you feel like you need anything from them. We're going to always make sure you have, and the family's going to always make sure you have, and these are the kind of things we're going to provide for you, so they can't get in your face and give you any bullshit and allow you to become weak to anything that they offer you. So that made me kind of an asshole at first. My son's father went through a lot to court me because he gave me a little necklace, which was beautiful. However, my attitude was, I don't know, my uncle got me an elephant tusk and gold bracelet. Like, your necklace doesn't compare. My other uncle gave me this, my grandfather gave me that. It was those kind of things that kind of made me an asshole until I started to like him back. And then my mother intercepted and she was like, now listen here. And my grandmother intercepted and listen here. This is not how it is. And then my grandmother reminded me of the things I found beautiful in her relationship with my grandfather before he passed. And that kind of mellowed me out some. And then when I started liking my son's father back, that changed everything. It made me grow up, it made me mature. However, I believe they all thought they were doing the right thing to protect me, of course, because, it's easy for a young girl in puberty to fall prey to boys. However, at the same time, it was a fail a little bit, because I had this mentality like, I don't need you to do anything for me. I don't need you to do a damn thing for me because I have these men over here who put me on a pedestal who will always do for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't need you to pay for my anything if we go off campus because I keep money in my pocket because they make sure I keep money in my pocket. Mm-hmm. It was that kind of thing. However, the reality is that wasn't realistic because even the simplest things, he carried my books. If it was a problem, he stepped in. He was a year older than me. So when he left school, he left his cousin to be my protector. It's once we were in school, once I was away from the family, when I did need him for a lot of things. And I liked him for a lot of things too. But it was an exchange there because just as much as I needed him, he needed me. And I understood that more, and especially when my grandmother sat down and was like, listen, this is how it was with your grandfather and I. This is what you saw. This is what maturity is. This is what a relationship is. This is what it's supposed to look like. Then it gave me a different perspective, and it made me step back from being a jackass to being a little more mature about a relationship. Now, has that always stuck? No. But it just has a different feeling and different meaning. And yes, I do believe there are men who want to protect their loved one, their female loved one, because it is a dog world out there. And unfortunately, not every male is the same. Not every male is going to treat her the same. Mm-hmm. So they want to protect her. They want to prepare her for the wolves because they exist. Mm-hmm. But it's just difficult. That's why it's important to have both a male and a female in a household to rear a child to understanding. It's important for boys and girls. That's the reason why, because there is balance. So, and I believe that's where that community and that village come in.
Yeah. Well, irresponsibility. I mean, or should I say responsibility and understanding builds on your insight. And when you're not, when you're dealing with when you're dealing with parents or men and women who are more of a challenge to each other instead of being more of a team to challenge others. Well, these are some of the things that you get. You know, like, I don't have a problem with any man protecting the sanctity of the women of his life or protecting them physically. Not at all. I mean, none of us who grew up with even if you were in a 2-parent family, you never wanted to see your mom. A man never wants to see his mom, having her feelings hurt or fucked up or whatever. Unless you grew up like Eminem or somebody. But other than that, you don't want to see your mom in pain, especially if you grew up with a single mom and you realize how hard she's working to try to keep things together and keep everybody in line and keep food on the table, roof overhead, clothes on your back, keep your grades up and just trying to hold the family down. So you don't want to see them hurt in any way. So when a man has daughters, he wants to make sure that any problems that he saw his mom go through with other men, whether it was with his father or any other men, you want to protect your daughter from having to go through that. Every man with any sense wants his daughter to have a better experience with men than probably he gave to her mother. For real. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So in the attempt to try to make that happen, sometimes they make their daughters a little bit too rigid. So they're teaching their daughter how to challenge a man instead of be with a man.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a valiant, maybe their hearts were in the wrong place, but you can only teach what you know. And if you don't really know how to really train somebody or rear somebody or raise somebody or make someone well adjusted, then you use the tools that you have with what you do know. Parents who can't read and write teach their kids how to fight.
I believe that.
It's true. You know what I mean? I can't teach you how to do your homework, but I can teach you how to make people scared to call you dummy.
Yeah.
Can't read and write, but I can teach you how to fight. I'll make them shut up. You be dumb as a fucking thumbnail. Shit. Push pins. You dumb as a push pin. Like every time somebody hang up a piece of paper on that pegboard, that's you. But they ain't gonna say nothing for fear of them teeth getting knocked out. So, I mean, it's a tough situation. But getting back to what we talk about, the 6-figure wife, there's nothing wrong with being proud of the accomplishments that you've made in order to take care of yourself financially. But all the money in the world really ain't shit if you don't have nobody there to, what? How can you can't have a celebration party when it's just you. You know what I mean? You can't. And sometimes we forget that shit. Like, convince ourselves that we don't need nobody. I don't need no man. I don't need no friends either. I don't need nothing.
I hear people say that all the time. What they're saying is, I came in this world by myself and I leave it by myself, and I disagree. You don't leave this place by yourself. If you've ever, unless you just lived as a hermit under a rock and you didn't have a mother or father or nobody, then yeah. But other than that, the moment you enter this space, you're a life force attached to a life force. You become a part of somebody, and when you leave, you take a piece of them with you and leave a piece of yourself with them. So
right.
You don't leave the space by yourself, and you always need somebody. I think that's a misperception that's taught now to these new people. These new humans believe they don't need anybody and they need everybody all the fucking time.
Everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody needs somebody. And to piggyback off of what you said, you don't come into this world by yourself. You grew inside your mother for 9 months.
Yeah, you are attached to a life force.
And somebody pulled you up out of there.
Life forces. Yeah.
They did.
I don't understand that. Nobody checks anyone when they say that.
It's just a metaphor. It's just a metaphor. We get caught up in metaphors. You know what I mean? If it don't make money, it don't make sense. It's just a metaphor. I get it. I get it. And it's useful for certain situations. But those situations don't always pay the bills. They might pay the financial bills, but they don't pay your emotional bills. And look, when you say emotional bills, then people gonna try to act like, well, you know what I mean, fuck all that emotional shit, blah, blah, blah. As long as I get this money, I can do blah. I get it. I totally get it. But you know you lying. And I know you lying. If you gotta buy your friends, if you gotta buy your lovers, if you gotta buy your kids, I've seen people buy their own fucking kids. Kids don't respect them. They don't. And when you seen children not have any respect for their parents and seeing their parents, work day and night, tooth and nail to try to get the respect of their kids. Now, why their kids don't respect them? Because they've been able to not respect them, number one. But the other side of it is they may not respect their parents because their parents may not have been there. You know what I'm saying? You got parents who work day and night, whatever, don't spend no time with their kids. They just make sure that they have everything personally. I mean, have everything financially. So they got all the material things that they could ever want, but what they really wanted was time, love, and affection. They wanted time. They wanted enriching experiences. They couldn't get it because mommy and daddy was always at work. Okay. Now, yeah, you bust your ass to try to provide for the family, but there's more to providing than just money.
It is.
And you missed that point. So when you see children become teenagers and they don't have no respect for their parents, and then they become full-fledged adults, and that's when it really gets out of hand. The disrespect be getting nasty. It be getting ugly. Because adult children do not hide their disrespect for their parents. They don't hide it. They feel entitled to disrespect their parents. Dad becomes a sperm donor. The mom becomes ain't no kind of mom, probably calling her by her first name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Janice.
I've seen it.
You've seen it. I've seen it. Everybody has seen it. Shit is disgusting. And I tell you what, nobody wants to be a part of that shit. But I bet you a lot of those times the money was there.
And then I have a cousin like that. He dotes on how much money he's made and how much he could provide for my cousin, my little cousin. But sadly, it just is miserable. And it's like you giving them everything, but you've given them nothing. You talk about it. We grew up in the same household. What did you see that I didn't see? What did you miss that I caught? Because what he gave them is misery. That's all he's giving them. And he talks bad about their mother because they're divorced. Their mother don't have a whole bunch of nothing, but they couldn't wait to go live with their mother when they were old enough. And he talks so bad about it, like, you don't see the problem here. You don't see the problem here. Because all the money in the world and your children are not happy. You bought them all the electronics, all the big TVs, all the everything, but they were never children. They weren't happy.
Yeah, because they was dying inside. It's fucked up. Yeah. So with the 6-figure wife, it's possible that the man could be dying inside. It's possible that the woman the one with the 6 figures, there's a chance she could be dying inside. I mean, it goes both ways. I've seen situations where where a man made a bunch of money and he thought that he felt like because he was providing for everything, he was paying for everything, that he could just treat everybody the kind of way he wanted to treat them, which was normally bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But his claim to fame was that money. And unfortunately, everybody adhered to that because nobody wanted to be broke. Nobody wanted to work. Nobody wanted to build or struggle or start at ground zero. Nobody wanted to do that. So, okay. Well, here's the price of continuing on from where you are. So,
well, look at what people say now. They feel like, well, if you say something bad about Tyler Perry, that's the first. Well, he got all the money. If you say something bad about Oprah, well, she got the money, and they compare how the relationship between Stedman and Oprah is because they're like, she has more money than him. She has the money, so he needs to sit in the background. And I'm like, well, if it's a real relationship, first and foremost, and he was a man, he wouldn't take a backseat based on her money. That's just how I feel. And she wouldn't want him to take a backseat based on her money.
Well, there's a reason that those two never got married, but that's between them two.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because regardless of whether they ever got married or not, they've been together in the way that they wanted to be together all this time. I ain't even mad at it. For whatever reason that they decided not to make it a legal commitment, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? Shit. What Oprah, like a good 70 now?
I don't know.
Let me see. How old is Oprah Winfrey?
71 years old.
71. Said fuck it now. Well, I mean, you can look at it two ways. Well, they don't need to get married now, or you might as well just go ahead and do it. Shit, what you got to lose now? You know what I'm saying? You know, like the worst that can happen is Stedman start fucking around with some 25-year-old or some old crazy shit, which is not out of the realm of possibility. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Shit. The only reason we even know about a Stedman Gordon is because of Oprah. I don't know what he does for a living. What is a Stedman? I don't know. But
the point of it is people focus on the money aspect in the relationship and feel like society still has this mentality, not everyone, but enough who feel like the person with the most money is the boss and they can do whatever they want to do, and the person who has the least money has to follow. Like all the time you hear some of these guys get out here and say, well, a woman who gets with an athlete because of the money they make, she should expect, and I know women who say it too, she knows she's going to get cheated on. She should expect it. If you want to live the life of a man with money in the music industry, in the athletic world, in the movie industry, any celebrity, then she knows she's going to get cheated on. She should expect it. And if she wants to live that lifestyle, she should shut up and accept it. And I'm like, well, that sounds ignorant to me.
Yeah, but you don't see the truth in that though.
I mean, I don't see that in normal people who have common sense. I see it in a bunch of bullshit celebrities, yes.
But they don't. We're not
hearing about it. Let me be clear. If there is some instability going on, we don't hear about it when they're mature.
Well,
and you don't see them one bigger than the other. My example would be Courtney Vance and Angela Bassett. I don't see Angela as making more money than Courtney or vice versa. And you don't see any kind of animosity. You don't see one bigger than the other. And we've never heard of anything about infidelity with them. So when I'm saying mature, I mean people who are really mature and comfortable in their relationship.
But how will we know?
I'm just talking about period. I'm not just talking about them. I'm just talking about period.
Because I've met some celebrities or whatever, and because I know a lot about that world, that's not a normal lifestyle. It's just not. There's no way you can compare that to a person who works a 9 to 5 job or is just building a little business from the ground up. It's not the same. The things
Well,
that
unfortunately, there are some people who work a 9 to 5 who think like that, have that same mentality that because I make this kind of money and I make that much more money than my mate, my partner, my spouse, whatever, then I wear the big pants and I run the show and I can do whatever I want to do. Unfortunately, that mentality.
But those people are pretending. Those people aren't going from city to city, state to state, being recognized by people, being put in positions where they literally have to sacrifice themselves physically in order to get their feet in the door. That they're not in those situations. Those Hollywood celebrities are in those situations. They've been put in those situations. Those athletes, they're in those situations. They have access to things and people and places that the rest of us don't. Even if they're not the biggest, not even if they're not the best, even if they're not the ones with the biggest or most lucrative contracts. That is a lifestyle where you would really have to discipline yourself way more than the average man out here, because the average man out here is not recognized, adored, and admired by millions and millions of people day in and day out. It's not the same. So a lot of those celebrity marriages and all that, a lot of that shit really ain't even real. Most of them are not real. They make money out of being in a relationship. You don't make money. If me and you if me and you got married, ain't nobody buying our images and shit, putting us on their wall, calling us the example of black love and all of that shit. Ain't nobody doing that shit. So they make money off of that shit. So there's an incentive for them to fake the funk. I mean, but fuck it. They pretend for a living. You an actor, you pretend for a living. And ball players too. That shit, they're not doing they're not doing jobs that actually keep this world going. It's all cerebral shit. And I'm not saying that anybody should sign up to be abused physically or mentally or emotionally. But if I marry or get seriously involved with a stripper or a porno star, what the fuck do I expect? I don't care how many of those men you fuck. I want my 3 meals a day, and I want to live our life totally separate from that. What the motherfucker? You crazy? Do you know the mentality she had to have in order for her to go to work? And you expect that shit to just be cut off for you, for little old you? She can't do it. She can't mentally. She can't do. She had to go to hell in order to perform her profession. You think she can get to heaven or even earth to be with you? Dude, you're going to have to accept that your wife is going to get mad raw dick stuck up in her and cum shots on her face on a regular basis. That's what you're working with. You don't want that? You need to go get yourself a regular girl. But that one come with mad extras. So, it is what it is. Yeah, you sign up for certain things, you got to expect certain things. You know what I mean? It's only us outside of that profession talking about, so, oh no, you know, he cheated on her. She should divorce his ass. She should leave his ass. Fuck out of here. You don't think she knew what this motherfucker was about? How you think he got her? What do you think? They saw each other across a crowded room and they just knew they were right for each other. Shit. She recognized the motherfucker before. How many people do you recognize, you know, from being on TV or doing a performing art that you get with? It ain't the same. But I want to make sure that we get into this whole emasculation thing. Because sometimes this whole emasculation thing with the six-figure wife or the six-figure woman, for some, I've seen some women do it. I've definitely seen some women weaponize their income against their men. And I've also seen women weaponize their income against women. But since we're talking about the six-figure wife or the six-figure woman, you have to think about what goes into that in order for that to happen. In order for a woman to choose a man that she probably loves or at least likes enough to spend all her time with or marry, you have to consider that if she chooses a man that she really just wants to insult and demean and demoralize and emasculate, you have to understand where that's coming from, because it may not be coming from him. It may be coming from other men that she's dealt with in her life, where she, unfortunately, she's on a revenge campaign against all the previous men in her life, and she landed on this man here. She might like him, she might love him, but now she's incapable of being lovable or loving.
And sometimes it could be due to her own miserable self.
Yeah, of course. But where did
alpha lady?
But where?
She makes more money than her husband, and she takes great pleasure in demeaning him and making his life miserable.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody she's miserable. That's the reason why.
Yeah, but where did her misery come from?
I think she's always been miserable personally, but
I'm saying she couldn't have been miserable all the time. Everything comes from something. Now, we may not have seen the spark, but it came from somewhere. We all come from somewhere. Everything comes from somewhere. In our world, unfortunately, everything has an origin. So what would be the origin of her ire? What would be that?
She made some bad decisions when she was younger. I believe because her parents put in her head that she was above everybody for whatever reason. She has siblings, and she feel like she's the better of her siblings.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
I believe that has a lot to do with it, because she's been like that since she was younger. However, she made a lot of mistakes when she was younger, and no one called her ass out. Well, I called her out on. But the people who should have called her out didn't. And no one calls her out now. No one calls her to task now. She has her husband believing that she's always had men put her on a pedestal, and they would just die if she moved on with somebody else. And that's not the fucking truth. Like, for instance, talk about how this the only nigga who allowed her to talk to him the way she does. Because if it's been any of these other dudes, I would have kicked her ass for real. She's never had nobody do shit for her. This is the first, and she's an adult. This is the first man who ever just bowed down to her. And I think some of it is because he loves her. And I think she's grown worse over time because she's changed positions in her job, her money changed, and the people she was around changed. Because the more money she made, she moved with different circles. And it just made her worse. And she's one of those people. However, I know another couple where the wife makes more money and she's nothing like that. You would never know if you didn't know who made what, because they're a unit who moves together.
What about the woman?
Is a moron.
What about the woman who's ashamed of her own financial status because she makes more than her man? What about the woman who fears that she won't be able to get a good man because so many men are intimidated by a woman who makes decent money?
And I know one like that too, who does not. Her husband has no idea how much money she really makes. We know, but he doesn't. He doesn't know she's had 2 raises since they've been married.
Okay.
And her word is, because I would never, and she bases it on the Bible, I would never want my husband to know that I make more money than him and make him feel bad. That's her thing. And she bases it on biblical talk and what she sees in church and what they talk about in church. She's like, I would never want my husband to feel belittled because I make more money and make him feel like less of a man. And so he has no clue that she makes so much more than he does. And she will never let him know. She's like, the only way he'll find out is if I die. And she is ashamed of her success. Like, she didn't celebrate 2 raises because of her husband.
So now, is she dealing with a man that will feel bad because she's making more money?
I think he would. I don't think he would feel bad in the sense he'd be sad. I think it would anger him.
So she has good reason.
Make him be a jackass.
She has good reason to suppress suppress the information about her finances.
Yeah.
6-figure wife. I mean, the shit. I've known this kind of shit to happen. You know, I mean, but at least she is. I mean, on a positive level, at least she is conscious of his feelings. Now, to me, she dealing with a pussy, but yeah, I mean, that's me not knowing them personally. You know what I mean? I don't have the right to call a man that I don't know a pussy, but shit, if you at the end of the day, a marriage is the greatest, most recognized union on earth. There isn't a country, a state, a town, a village who doesn't recognize marriage. So in a marriage, all money goes, especially in legal marriage, all money goes towards the household. It's 50-50. So when he makes the money, it's y'all money. And you'll find that out when you try to separate. So the same thing goes with a woman. Her money, all her money belongs to the household. So why wouldn't you want to have more? Why would you rather stay in a state where you feel like y'all just struggling to have your heads above water? Even if y'all doing well, why would you want to stay in that way instead of having the comfort of a nest egg that you could sit back and chill or have confidence in that you'll be all right should y'all take a hit? Doesn't make any sense. But hey,
that's the conversation that's not had. That's the conversation that's not had.
Yeah.
Evidently. On the public stage, that's not the conversation that's being had. The conversation that's being had is how to pit each other against each other instead of work as a unit.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm just talking about the logical side of being in the relationship.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like what conversation should be had, but yeah, I mean, shit can get ugly in a relationship that's unbalanced and where the communication is low. Expectations are high and communication is low. Or in this situation, maybe the communication is high, but the expectations are low. And the expectations may be low in this situation that we're talking about. A woman shouldn't have to hide how well she's doing financially from her own husband. I mean, damn, from her husband? I could see if you dealing with some suspect dude that you just been fucking with for a little while and you don't really know, how opportunistic he is or whatever. So you trying to, keep things on the low until you get more pertinent information on pertinent positive information. I get that part. But other than that, like, nah, we ain't doing that. For what? I mean, that goes a lot into the trust that you have for somebody. If I can't trust you not to be all sad because of my successes, what do we have again? Like, what are we doing? So we can't even celebrate our success because my success is yours. If I'm with you for real, want to be with you, but we can't celebrate that because I'm not supposed to make more than you. So we're not supposed. We are not supposed to have a lot unless you make the money. Well, I don't know about that.
I think it's because it's a misunderstanding of the whole relationship. Because that's a conversation we don't have. Again, on the public stage, we really don't talk about what a relationship really is. Like for the women who feel like they make enough money that they don't need a man, it sounds all good and dandy, but realistically, that's not accurate.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend like that. She makes 6 figures plus because she's been a therapist for 16 million years and she's older. And I remember one day she was so angry with me because I was like, "Woo, I cannot do this by myself." She's like, "Oh, you're a strong woman. You've been doing it by yourself, and your grandmother will be proud." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Girl, I hear what you're saying, but I don't want to do this by myself. I am tired of doing this by myself. I don't want to be the strong woman. I just want to be the girl." And I'm like, and when I say that, I'm not just talking about finances. I'm talking about little shit. Like everything in this house is tall. I pitched a bag of chips on the refrigerator that went too far back, and I was thinking, damn, I can't reach this. I wish the ex was here to come and get this. Should I call him to come and get these chips for me? I don't take out the trash. I've never taken out trash in my life. And I'm like, I need a man to come and take out this trash. And her thing, I take out my trash, you can take out your own trash. Do you need me to I don't need you to give me directions, girl. I need a man to come and take this trash out. It's just that simple. And even now, if I were in a relationship, I would be sleep right now. Because I'm like a toddler. I need someone to say, you know what? It's time to turn it off and take your ass to bed. And my ex was great for that. Like, he tapped me, girl, come on, let's go to bed. And he meant for real, let's go to bed and go to sleep. So I think those are the conversations that are not being had. Like, people are so focused on $1, and at the end of the day, everybody needs to pull their dollars together for us to survive, because here we are. We just went through a pandemic, and now here we are with a psychopath. Everybody's money should be pulled together for real. But nobody's discussing that. They still stuck on, because when I hear these podcasts and these people on these shows saying this stuff, I'm like, are they in 2025 like I am, or are they in a different dimension? Because these are not the conversations we should be having. This is not the time for us to be bickering against each other or fighting against each other. So what am I missing here? Like, all that your money, nobody's money equals to shit anymore, especially right now today. So this is the time when the relationship, these are the discussions that should have been had decades ago, for whatever reason they weren't. And now here we are at them. Well, we need to be having these conversations. We need to be focused on how the unit needs to be. Like, we're quick to say the black family no longer exists because we don't allow it to exist. And because women feel like I don't need a man. Whatever I was watching yesterday, it caught me off guard. And I had to stop what I was doing to pay attention, because they said, women don't need men anymore. No, I'm sorry. She said, women have, and the husband said, women have vibrators, women have their own money, women have something else. And his wife said, women have other women. And he said, yeah, women have other women. So it is a privilege to be in the presence of a queen and blah, blah. I was like, that's bullshit. Everything they both said, I want to kick both of them in the mouth and knock their teeth out, because what the fuck are you saying? What you're saying doesn't even make sense.
You know, the crazy part is, I've heard women say the same shit. I got a rose, I got a bullet, I'm like,
That's a real conversation that needs to be had. That needs to be had for real.
Listen.
None of that is shit. That's nothing.
Listen, I don't even. There is such a big difference between the way that women look at masturbation and the way men look at masturbation. I ain't never heard a man celebrate whacking his shit off. I ain't never.
I don't know why women do. Stephanie Mills said it best. I need the comfort of a man. It's the feel of it. Like, I can't speak for anybody else, but the satisfaction, that's just common. That's nothing. You do that when you're 13. But as an adult, a mature adult, you should want the full package. Who the fuck wants to just roll over and go to sleep? That's dumb as hell to me. I think all of these, it just needs to be a better conversation. It really does. It really needs to be a real authentic conversation and make it make sense. And we can't base it on the Bible. We can't base it on who got the most money. It just needs to be a real conversation that says, look, this is why I need you and I feel like you need me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that whole, these women talking about they got a rose, and I'm like, girl, you are stupid.
Listen, I'm like, all I know, most men look at masturbation like, I wouldn't have to do this if I had a woman. Niggas jerk off and be ready to cry. And that shit ain't over the pleasure, goddamn. Like, how long am I gonna have to do this? It's terrible. It's terrible. I should have never broke off with Tina. But
I'm like, what woman started that whole thing that made other women say it? That's not, what woman said that insanity and made it a reality? What woman started that? And I'm like, was it the whole woman's movement thing that started the bullshit?
That was part of it.
That was just for a bunch of lesbians. That's how I feel about it. And I think that's insanity too. And it's nothing against anybody, but for real, you got a fake. What the fuck is a fake dick, a rubber dick gonna do? Nothing. There's no joy to that. So I'm just saying that it's just crazy to me. It needs to be a real mature adult conversation when it comes to these things. All these women who are saying, I got my toy and blah, blah, blah. Girl, you have nothing. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and that romantic music is playing and you got the thunderstorm going on outside and you feeling all good, that none of that is going to satisfy you. Because when you're done, you're going to lay there and cry too. Just saying, these people who are unrealistic about life, they pretend and tell bullshit ass lies, and they need to become task or it needs to be a task group to say, quit playing. Like, this is not real life. It's not. And I don't think the majority of us grew up seeing life like that.
Oh, look at this dickhead. Ethan Rudy talking about some son used to go to Diddy parties. Motherfucker, a lot of y'all motherfuckers talking that dumb shit. Y'all wish y'all went to Diddy parties. Like, y'all wish y'all could have either fucked some of the bitches that Diddy fucked or wish that Diddy fucked you. Like, you know what? I would at least have $1,000 right now if Diddy only touched me. I would at least have 15 minutes of fame. But here I am, untouched by Diddy, and I'm here in the chat, the Sun 752, talking dumb shit. He sounds stupid as shit. Fuck out of here. I tell you one thing, if I ever went to a Diddy party, that means I'm definitely not worried about no six-figure woman. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody who went to a Diddy party was worthy of six figures. Dumb motherfucker. This nigga is stupid as shit. now,
the person sitting at home crying, like you said.
That's the motherfucker. That's the motherfucker right there on the toilet. He got the lotion in one hand and his dick in the other hand. And on the toilet, can't even jerk off in his own room. He gotta go to the bathroom and shit, the door closed. I don't have no privacy. That shit is a sad state of affairs. Oh God. Oh God. Lord, please, not another night. Nigga sad as shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry. Don't worry, dog. You know what I mean? Watch your porn. Go get your magazines, man. You know, it's going to be all right. Listen, there's a little cutie that work at your job. You know what I mean? She do something strange for some change. You know what I mean? A change going to come. I was born by a river. Little Ted.
What is wrong with him?
Hold on, Kim. And then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me, please.
And then they get on and call it to urban therapy with fun.
You know what I mean? Think about what led you to be on this show tonight. What landed you in the chat tonight, motherfucker? He came on here ready to troll. He feeling bad, like, damn, I did jerk off last time. Fuck! 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 Ain't no man with a decent woman trolling nobody on social. Ain't nobody doing that shit. Happy niggas do not troll. I can tell you that straight up and down. You know what I mean? I'm 100% right on that shit. I ain't usually right about a lot of shit. But that shit, you ain't gonna tell me that a happy motherfucker, he got trolling. Shit, what they say, misery loves company. Happiness loves a party. They want a party. I ain't never met nobody happy that don't want nobody else to be happy. But that motherfucker, shit, what? You need to stop that shit. Where was I? No, Lord, no. Lord, no. Shit, I'm late for work. Bum ass nigga. Come on, this shit. Bum ass nigga coming on here talking shit. Get the fuck out of here. Stupid ass.
Now, see, they didn't say nothing else. You must have hit the nerves.
Shit, I know I feel better.
Let me get a beer.
Shit, he ain't. I know one thing. He ain't never gonna get a 6-figure woman. You can best believe that shit.
He gonna get a $2 woman. So I'm
Shit.
just saying.
Well, shit. He might be able to afford the $2. He might be able to get $2. $2 in HIV. He can get that. You know what I mean? They say love don't cost a thing, and neither do HIV. You can get this shit. You can get this shit. I can take you right to it. It might take you a couple of tries, but you gonna get there. Dumbass nigga.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's probably the same person keep changing their name. That's what lets you know.
Oh no, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. That's a new troll. That's, you know what I mean? He got different trademark. You know what I'm saying? This dude actually he's been to this show before. I recognized him. Hold on, let me see this. I know for a fact he been here before. Hold Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Maybe he is new, but he been on YouTube for 9 years. 9 years. And this is what the fuck he's doing. God damn.
Like 9 years, this is what you doing.
9 years. This is not a new account. This motherfucker been playing himself for 9 years straight. Man, nigga, you are a slug.
He's still a telemarketer.
He is a slug with some Morton salt sprinkled on the back of his ass. It's over. All right, let's get on the pot of here. It's 4:00 in the morning. Listen, I really appreciate you coming through. Always a good time. I had a good laugh tonight. I'm gonna sleep well. You know what I'm saying? Yo.
Thanks, everybody. Peace.
All right, you have a good night.
You too.
Good shit. All right, so let's get into this poll. Hold on. Let's get into the poll. 24 votes on the poll. Let's see what we're working with. Are women or wives who make more than their husbands or men bougie? Are they bougie? Okay. 29% says yes, they be on some other ish. But 50%, which would be 12 votes, says no, that's just men being insecure. I'm glad that most people believe that or think that. 4%, which is only one person, says only if they're pretty and not ugly. So if they have money and they pretty, they bougie. If they have money and they ugly, nah, they cool. What the hell? And 17% says most times they emasculate men. Ugh. Most times they emasculate men. Well, that's our accounting for whether women who make more money than men do, how they act. I mean, and one thing we can't account for is anybody or any one person's personal experience. We all have reasons for feeling the way that we do. And the way that we feel, you know, sometimes wields different outcomes than others. It's gonna be all right at the end of the day. Oh God. At the end of the day, we're gonna be okay, you know. But it should always be a situation where you can get it popping with your woman. One way or another, you should always be able to get it popping with your woman. And that's whether she makes a bunch of money, more than you, equal to you, or less than you. You know, either hopefully y'all didn't come together for money, because if y'all did, then you have nothing to complain about. Whether she's bougie or not or whatever. If you only were looking for the financial benefits of what somebody could do for you in a relationship or in a marriage, then you need to just go ahead and roll with the punches. Just remember that the way things start out aren't always the way that they end or the way that they stay. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious excuse me, May 19th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special, because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. My niece, Nichelle Morgan, affectionately known to the family as Nikki Morgan. And also Princess Versi Hewlett. And also Shauna Michelle Harris, my girl going way, way back. And Damon McDaniel. Girl 6 Onyx. Kenya Kane Wiggins. No, I'm sorry. No. She was on the 18th. Natalie Natty. Let's see. Devanya Sweet Mama Low. Shaniqua Cochran. Mika Stephenson. And Bobby Joe Johnson. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 19th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, 6 figures. Oh, you got a 6-figure wife, not 6-figure nigga, but she getting larger, she getting kind of bigger. But does she feel like she's bigger than you? And even if she is, are you handling your biz? It shouldn't matter how much nobody else makes as long as you're going for yours, for God's sake. Are you lazy, staying up on your ass in your couch? Yo, the roach climbed on you, said ouch, because he bit your dumb ass. That's what you get, because you sitting on your couch talking shit, watching the game, playing the game, PlayStation controller in your hand, and you're not acting like a man. Gotta clear your space to get somebody about your face. It's time for you to step up your game, because you want your kids to at least call you by your name. And your name should be Dad or Daddy or Pops or some shit. They call you by your first name. Stop. I don't know how far you're going to go, but I know times are going to come to prove and show. And you're showing that you're nothing but a lady bastard. Yo, I got a question, ask it. Well, I want to know, how come you let somebody hold you down like you ain't the one to be found in another job section or the roster? Yo, you treating life like you're just an imposter. You are a visitor here, but you got a marriage license. And let's get one thing clear. She is your dear. But no, listen here. What I'm trying to say to you. Come on, yo, do you? Do you want to be respected? Do you want to have somebody else be connected? You want to get the network on and popping? Are you ready to keep going, but you keep stopping? Always got excuses. You got to get better before you abuse yourself. Worry about your mental health. And wealth is all you got your eye on, but you ain't working for nothing. So somebody has to pile on. You ain't nothing but a liability. You supposed to be an asset. Yo, you remind me of As Yet. You remember the group back in the 90s. All of that shit is past 10 years. It's all behind me. You gotta do better than that. Yo, do something. Hustle. Keep your pockets fat. And I ain't saying the money is your worst, but if you can't get it popping on this earth, you belong in the hearse. It's time for you to get put 6 feet under. Matter of fact, cremate your ass. We ain't spending no cash. Trying to put you into the ground. Gotta buy a headstone for the shit that you never own. You remind me of a snow cone. Matter of fact, the cone in the streets, you can't compete. It's time to eat. You getting a small piece of chicken, bitch. It's time for us to roll on just like the deodorant. I'll get my money spent, but I'm gonna save me a little bit. Yo, thanks for coming to to hear this little shit. I appreciate y'all each and every day. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock, okay? Hope to see you there. Yo, I take care, and I hope to see y'all there so we can share an experience like no other. Yo, I appreciate y'all. Y'all like my sisters and brothers for real. We a fan, but it's gotta still know who we are and who we am. Nobody running the scam. Shout out to spam. Shout out to trolls. Shout out to the real ones. You know. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night at 2 a.m. Y'all already know what it is. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Be able to subscribe to the channel. At least hit the like button. We need likes. We need likes. We need likes. We need likes. It just helps the channel, yo. It just helps the channel. Just help the channel out a little bit. I mean, represent for a change. All right. Oh, you know what? May 19th was the late, great Malcolm X's birthday. How about that? How about that, huh? Huh? Rest in heaven, rest in paradise. Malcolm X, live on. Long live. All right, y'all, peace. Good night.